Good morning, everybody. This is Mrs. Muller, and this is part 2 of the tessellation lesson that I started yesterday. So yesterday what we did was we used an index card and came up with a design on one end of it. And in this case, yesterday I did something like this. I went ahead and cut out this on this line here, and then I took this shape. Let me just quickly show you. I took the shape that I drew on one end of the index card, okay, and I took it and I put it around at the other end of the index card and taped it, okay. Then I did the same up here. I drew a design on this edge, and then I cut it out and glued it down here. So you can see that this is what I ended up with. Here is the part that I cut out of this section, and I moved it around and taped it. And then I cut this design out and moved it around and taped it right above where it would have been. Try to line it up as nice and neatly as you can and tape it in place. I taped the front and the back just to make sure that it stayed put. And what I did was I put it on my paper and I traced it. This sort of tessellation where you slide it and then trace it is called a slide tessellation, okay, for obvious reasons. If you're picking it up and sliding it into the new position so that it fits within it in the last one, then it's called a slide tessellation. So I filled up my paper with my slide tessellation, and now I can be a little creative and come up with a picture. Now I kind of see the head of a seal here. It looks like the seal's head and some flippers. But when I looked at it last night, I looked and looked and looked, and this is what I came up with. So for each picture, I created fish. Here's the fish's tail, the top fin, the bottom fin, the scales, and then this is an open mouth and the eye. And I repeated that in every shape so that it's exactly the same in every single one. So after I've done that, now I can go ahead and use a Sharpie marker. Let me grab one of those, and I can trace all of my pencil lines. This takes a little bit of time, so I'm not going to sit here and have you watch me, but when you use a Sharpie to trace, it makes your design stand out so much better. You know that I love my Sharpie work. Okay, so then when you have your entire page all traced out, then you can start coloring in. Each fish can be a different color. So let me at least trace one fish and start coloring, and you'll be able to see this is the fin of a different fish. Here's the fin that belongs on this fish. Okay? So you go ahead and trace everything. Now I made some gills, but now I kind of regret it. So I'll see if I can keep those on. I'm not sure if I want to. But these kinds of decisions are yours to make as the artist. Okay? So I'm going to keep going and trace everything. At least this one fish I'll get done. Okay? Trace all of these lines inside the back fin because these have a lot of detail. All these little lines matter. Looks like a fish, doesn't it? That's what I kept seeing. I did see the seal this morning, but the fish just kept coming to my head yesterday. So I'm sticking with the fish. Okay, so now I have one fish complete. I'm not going to do all of them because that would take some time. And then I can go ahead and color in the fish the way I want it. Okay? Now this fish is going to be kind of orange like Nemo from Finding Nemo. Sort of that color, that angelfish kind of look. I think it's an angelfish. I'm going to do every other orange stripe. Okay, I'm going to keep on going. I think I'll do these fins orange as well. Every fish can be a different color. That way it makes them stand out from each other. But the idea is that the design, the tessellation, makes each fish the exact same shape, the exact same detail and everything, but you can vary your colors. So let me show you one that I had done while I was at school. Some of you may have seen it. This is a tessellation design. But this is called a reflection tessellation because when you use the tessellation template, it fits inside of itself. When you flip it, it fits inside, back and forth. That's called a reflection tessellation. That one's a little bit different and a little bit more complicated. This is another tessellation. This one is a slide tessellation. I think you'll be able to see that these spiders fit within itself. All you do is slide and trace, slide and trace. So this is a slide tessellation. This last one that I had worked on is called a rotation tessellation. Can you see why? This lizard rotates and fits here, and then rotates and fits here, and rotates and fits here. So you just keep spinning and spinning and spinning. You can make different kinds of tessellations that do this, but this one is the easiest one, and that one I thought we could tackle together because it's fun. Every time you make a new design, you use a new index card and you can make a new design every time. So let me show you. Yesterday I made a second one that looked like this, and it took me a little while to figure out what I thought it looked like. It looks like many things to me. I see this is a nose and this is someone's open mouth and they're laughing, ha ha ha, and that's what it looks like to me at first. But then the more I turned my paper, the more I saw other things. I see an old lady with a bun on her head, and maybe she has a big nose like a witch. So there's lots of different things that you can make out of this. When I turned it this way, I see just a little creature who's swimming in the pool, and this is his paw as he's swimming, and this is his nose that sticks out right here, and this is the top of his head. So I saw a great many things in that tessellation, and I started working on coming up with a drawing. It's not a creature maybe that we're familiar with. I guess it's supposed to be a dog maybe. I don't know a dog that has a big old fat nose like that, but I thought it was funny. So if you work on creating a design on every single tessellation that matches this one, so this one matches this one exactly, and you fill the entire paper up with your designs, then you can begin outlining and coloring it in. So it's fun. Okay, one more time. If you had difficulty with this yesterday, you can always start over. What I did was I drew a design from corner to corner, going into the index card and then back to the corner again. And then I cut this piece out, and I'm going to take it and bring it around and put it on this end. See, this is where it started, and now this is where I'm going to tape it. And make sure that it's nice and even and fits on the end of your index card, okay? Then I'm going to create, let me move this out of the way, create another shape up here. Any design you want. And I'm going to cut this out like so. Take your time. The key to making these tessellations out of index cards is to make sure that you've taken the shape from here and bring it all the way around and tape it right. Measure with your pencil or your finger and make sure that it's in the same spot, okay? And that way you know your tessellation will be a successful template. Okay, so can you imagine something being made out of this? Maybe if you turn it to another way, you'll be able to see something different. I kind of see a rocket. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But you could come up with a lot of different things. Try this out and post your pictures. And I hope that you have some fun with these slide tessellations. Have a wonderful day, guys. I miss you. Please post your pictures. It makes me so happy to see them. Okay, until next time. Bye.